All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Glad you could be here for this special session, this rebroadcast of the TEC Wi-Fi link and information about our updated iOS application, the iTech 700. And we'll be going through a few items with our presentation. So if you are unable to hear me during the presentation, we are going to be switching from microphone to video, so hopefully you'll be able to hear both of those. If you need to listen in over the phone, the number is on the right-hand side of the screen for you to give a call in and listen in. If you have a question or a comment, there is a question box on the right-hand side. Please type your answer in there. And if you would like everyone to see that question, type in that it's for the entire audience, or if you want to just send that information to me, that's fine as well. But hopefully your information will be useful to all the rest of the audience, and that would be a useful piece of information. If your image is larger than your screen, you will have scroll bars on the right and bottom to position the screen for best viewing. So hopefully that will allow you to see all of it. We're going to be positioning different things during the session itself. And this is being recorded, and we will put this on the TEC website in about a week. And hopefully that will be useful for you. So our agenda today is we're going to have a video. And in that video, we're going to show you how to set up the TEC Wi-Fi link with a DG700. So this is the physical connection, how to make that work, and the powering up of the Wi-Fi link. We're also going to show you how to connect the Wi-Fi link to an iOS device. So we're talking about an iPad or an iPhone. And then we're going to show you some measurement features of the new iTech 700. So those are all going to be in the video portion. After that, we're going to go through some what we're calling a top 10 list, and top 10 reasons why the TEC Wi-Fi link and a DG700 is really what you need to use for great wireless measurements with probably the best digital pressure gauge that's on the market right now. So with that, I am going to now switch over to the video.
Hi, my name is Frank Spivak, and I'm with the Energy Conservatory. Today, we're going to give you some information about the new TEC Wi-Fi link. The Wi-Fi link is a wireless adapter which is added to your DG700 and DG500. The nice thing is that it adds wireless communication to nearly every gauge that we've ever produced since 2004. So this now provides you with wireless communication, a fabulous touchscreen experience through the application, and you have the most accurate digital gauge that can be used for both BlowerDoor testing and duct leakage testing. So there's no need to upgrade to a different gauge. Just add the TEC Wi-Fi link to your current testing protocol. So what we're going to do today is show you how to connect the Wi-Fi link to the DG700. We'll then power up the DG700, and then we'll switch over to the iOS app and show you how to put in all of the settings correctly and start taking a reading. Connect the Wi-Fi link to the DG700 through the serial port connection. So all I do is place it on top, turn the screws down, and make sure that I have a nice tight fit. The next step is to take the power cord, which is included with the Wi-Fi link, and connect that to the DG700. Make sure you got a nice tight connection. Now you'll notice that the blue light has come on, indicating that it now is receiving power from the DG700. The nice thing about this is that it's taking all of its power from here. You don't need an external connector for power. and you still have, on a fresh battery set with the DG700, you'll have anywhere from 19 to 28 hours of operation. Now the next step is to turn on the DG700. You'll see that the battery voltage is indicated here first. You'll see that the indicator light flashes green and then becomes solid. This indicates that now the Wi-Fi link is communicating with the DG700. Now our next step is that we're going to turn the fan speed control to just on. From here, we're going to go to the application and go through the settings.
So now that we have the DG700 connected to the Wi-Fi link and sending out a signal, we now want to check with the iPad and iPhone if we're connected. So I'm going to click on Settings. You'll see that in the upper left-hand corner under Wi-Fi that it's already chosen DG700, and it has a serial number of 30474. So it's easy enough to choose which network or Wi-Fi link you want to be associated with. If you had multiple gauges and multiple Wi-Fi links, you would know which one is which because the serial number will always be displayed after the gauge model number. So in this case, we only have one gauge that's hooked up, and that's what we're going to use for our test. So now I close the settings, and I'm going to start my iTech 700 application. So the landscape of the app here is that channel A shows up on top. We have a baseline function here. I'm going to clear that. We have the ability to read pressure on channel B. We also have time average selection, so we can choose 1, 5, 10, or long term. In this case, we're just going to choose 1. We also have the ability to change our cruise target. So we can choose 75 if we were doing larger commercial buildings, 50 for homes, 25 for duct blaster testing. We have a positive pressurization at 0 and a depressurization at 0. And then we also have a custom. So if you wanted to try and do a pressure matching method to find out the flow through a dryer or through a kitchen hood, this would be a place where you might want to try that. So for right now, we're just going to choose 50 as our cruise target. Next, we have our fan speed slider. So I can move the fan speed slider, and hopefully you can hear the fan in the background. And as we move the slider back and forth, we can adjust the speed of the fan. We have our serial number of our gauge connected and showing what that is. We also are monitoring the voltage that's left in the battery. And you also see a flashing light at the bottom, and that's telling us that we have data communicating back and forth from the DG700 through the Wi-Fi link to our iPad. Now, when I press on the small I in the lower right-hand corner, we have the ability to set up some different configurations. The first part is I can choose Configure Wi-Fi Length. And in this case, I'm using the AP or access point method, so I have it automatically set up to channel 1 as kind of our default. If there is too much traffic or other signals which might be interfering, you can adjust the channel value, and that will help you get a better signal through the Wi-Fi link. We can also choose a router method. So if we had multiple gauges with multiple fans and multiple Wi-Fi links, we could use the router method and get those to talk to a single computer. So again, right now we're using the AP method, and you'll see that we next have flow units. We have CFM, liters per second, and cubic meters per hour. Now you might have noticed that as we move from CFM to liters per second and cubic meters per hour, the area and volume values changed as we went from the inch-pound method to the metric method. So you can see that I'm going to go back to CFM. Now I have a house area right now. This is the square footage of the floor area listed as 2,500 square feet. But I can change that to a different number if I wanted to measure the area of the envelope. And this is part of our normalized flow as we get into some of these other measurements. We can also input a volume number. So if we wanted to do air changes per hour, that's going to show up here. We also have the ability to change how fast the fan speeds up and slows down. I'm just going to leave that at 1. That's a decent number to use pretty much all the time. So I'm done with that setting right now. So now I'm going to start a baseline. You'll notice that it says measuring baseline, and channel B has now gone from reading pressure to reading the number of seconds our baseline is taking. So when I'm done, I'm at 15, 16 seconds now, I'm going to press enter, and you'll see that we now have a baseline value listed for our test. Now I'm also going to change this to reading from pressure to, well, let's pick flow at 50 pascals. I can also then choose which fan I have, whether it's a Model 3 or a duct blaster or other devices that we manufacture. But right now I'm just going to pick the Model 3 fan. I'm also going to tell it I've got ring A. So now all I need to do is turn on the cruise control, and the fan will automatically adjust. So you can hear it slowly changing, and it's going to adjust so that we get our house to 50 pascals. Now you'll also notice that when channel A pressure was below 10, we had no reading. And as soon as we got into a bigger number and the house is starting to pressurize more, we're getting a value, a flow value. So now you see that we're increasing. Our fan speed, and we're showing value of around 1300 CFM. So as we go through this, you can see our number. If I wanted to help it a little bit, I can boost that and start reading a number up there. I can then turn the cruise control back on again to work on its own fan adjust rate. So now that I have that value, I want to display the number in a normalized flow. So I can pick air changes per hour, and I now see that my house, which had about 12 to 1300 CFM of leak, has an air change value of 2.7. That's a pretty tight house. Now I can also change this normalized flow value to something that might be a little bit more code compliant. So for example, I might want to pick flow at 50 pascals, but how much flow is that in square feet? And in this case, it's showing that I've got about half a CFM per square foot of house. Now some jurisdictions also like to use flow at 100 square feet. Now normally this is used when we have the area of the whole envelope. But in this case you can see that it's 50 CFM per 100 square feet. So I'm going to stop my fan now, and we're going to go back to our regular 0 reading. And you can see how fast this responds and how easy it is to work. So what we have endeavored to do is combine a really, really good touchscreen display in the fact that we're using an iPad or an iPhone and combining it with the most accurate pressure measurement, which is the DG700, for any blower door or duct leakage testing system out there. And we've incorporated a Wi-Fi unit that is available now and is very easy to use. So we hope that this little video has helped you understand a little bit more about what we have and what the DG700 and the TEC Wi-Fi link have to offer to you. And we hope that you'll be enjoying yours very soon. So right now, that's it for our video. If you have any questions, please let us know. Give us a call. Send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for your time, and hope to talk to you soon.
All right, so now we're back here and show you our top 10 reasons for using the DG700 with the Wi-Fi link. So what we think is reason number 10 is that it does turn your DG700 into the best wireless touchscreen manometer on the market with the iTech 700. So right now you can use the iPhone or iPad as your touchscreen, and then we are working on an Android version of this. It'll be the same thing, and hopefully that will be coming out very soon, sometime in the next few months. Reason number 9. This really is the longest battery life for both a Wi-Fi unit as well as a straight digital pressure gauge. In our video, we were talking about 19 to 28 hours. We're really at more like 20 to 30 hours, depending on the age of your pressure gauge. So right now, with a brand new DG700, you can get 30 hours of continuous use with the Wi-Fi link. For more of the existing gauges that are out there, you can certainly get 20 hours of continuous use. These are still using AA batteries that are inside the DG700. So when you're done with those, you can add more, just use new batteries to get you another 100 hours. So this really is the longest battery life of any pressure gauge in our industry, whether it's in a standard pressure reading mode or as a Wi-Fi device. Reason number 8. The iTech 700 app provides a full array of testing options, and we've added these latest code compliance results, so that'll help for people who are doing duct leakage testing where they need CFM at 25 per 100 square feet. Also, the people who are doing building testing where they have to read CFM at 50 per 100 square feet of the envelope. So we're hoping that with these first starter applications, we'll be adding more features in the months ahead. One of the more application-oriented reasons is that with the CAS testing, it does make it now easier where you can leave the gauge in the pressure testing area in the combustion appliance zone, and then take your iPad or iPhone with you around the house. So a typical thing when we've tested it here in Minnesota, leaving the gauge in the basement in the combustion appliance zone, we can go to all of the different exhaust fans throughout the house. So if there's a first floor bathroom and a kitchen hood, and then you go up to the second story and the bathrooms up there, those are all going to be easily monitored with your iPad or iPhone and see what happens to the house as you make those changes. And the Wi-Fi link works with the most widely used and what we think is the most advanced software on the market, which includes TechTite and TechLog. Currently, we have TechTite 4 Wi-Fi on the website, so you can download that now. And in the configuration setup for for Tektite, all you need to do is look for gauges that might be connected to your computer as wireless. TechLog 3, we're coming into the final beta testing area on TechLog 3, which allows for wireless, multi-fan, and multi-gauge testing. And we hope that that will be available also on our website very soon, hopefully within the next 30 to 45 days. Number 5, our Wi-Fi link has a communication distance of up to 300 feet without needing a router, allowing you to walk around the entire house. So in our testing, we have been able to go up to 420 feet in a straight line of sight test. So this was done outside, and we measured the distance from the Wi-Fi gauge, or the DG700 with the Wi-Fi link on it, to an iPad, and that was 420 feet. Now, when we've tested it within our building, and we can get a nice linear measurement, so through our office and manufacturing space, which is a combination of half concrete block wall and steel stud construction, we've been able to get up to 240 feet. When we did a test where we put the blower door in the front of the building that we're in, we did use routers to connect through some demising walls and extend our reach. But each time we were at about 200 to 240 feet from the gauge to the router, and then on and on. Now, other people have claimed that they can only get 40 to 60 feet, and that 100 feet has been impossible. And now they're claiming over 500 feet. We think that 420 is about it. And everything is going to be dependent in your house, obviously, by how that's constructed, what's inside it, how much steel there may be. So those are all going to be conditions that you're going to have to take into account. But we think very comfortably that in a two-story home with a basement, you're going to easily read everything that you need to read. The DG700 is the most accurate gauge on the market. We never have any accuracy discrepancies between our brochures, manuals, and calibration certificates. One of the things that you can always rely on with the Energy Conservatory is that you're going to get accurate information and accurate readings, both from us and from our products. If we know that you're trying to perform some sort of test that is beyond the capability of our equipment, we'll tell you that. But we'll also help you along and try and figure out a way to make the test work. And our instruments are always going to be of the highest integrity and reliability, because when you're testing, that's going to be where the rubber meets the road in trying to help a homeowner or working on code compliance situations where you've got a certificate of occupancy on the line. Our gauge does meet all the requirements for accuracy for ResNet and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Other manufacturers have two different published accuracy statements, one of which is completely outside of ResNet and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers requirements. In addition, calibration certificates that we have seen show multiple readings outside of the ResNet and Army Corps requirements. So we know that right now our gauge with our standard accuracy and a calibration certificate that we now provide with our instruments will show you that our instruments are the most accurate. Probably one of the better parts is that there's no gauge trade-in hassle. No need to mix and match. You don't need to buy a new gauge. The Energy Conservatory since 2004 has shipped tens of thousands of DG700 gauges. All those that are out in the field can continue to be used. And this Wi-Fi link just adds a new capability to you. It fits easily and securely to the top of the gauge and is really something that gives you a much more complete testing set of options right now. In addition, based on our testing of the DM32s that we've been able to work with, their published accuracy statements and their calibration certificates, we cannot recommend using a DM32 with any of our fan because of accuracy. This is a test that we've done using standard NIST traceable equipment, and just not something that we would certainly recommend. And always remember that a pressure gauge is only as good as its pressure measurement. So regardless of the bells and whistles, it still has to read pressure, and you want it to read pressure accurately. So our big news for right now is that we are entering a promotion period. So right now, if anyone wants to purchase the Wi-Fi link, it's $150. Normally that's $275, so this is a 45% savings. So anyone that has a DG700 can easily turn their gauge into for $150, turn their gauge into a wireless system. And another part is that when anyone purchases a DG700 pressure gauge, either just by itself or as part of a blower door or duct blaster system, we're providing the Wi-Fi link free. So this now is a promotion that will be running through the end of October and is also available through our distributors. Information on our top 10, so basically what you've seen already, is available on our website right now, as well as the information on more of the details of the promotion, and that's available on our website right now. We are also, over the next few months, going to be showing this top 10 reasons in various publications as well as online. And a reminder, again, the sale ends at the end of October, October 31st, and here is our link that will take you to the website and give you all of those. You can download all of the information on our equipment. So you can download the brochure, owner's manual, the quick guides, the top 10 list, as well as the promotion. So now it's time for questions, and I'm going to try and get over to my question sheet and see what kind of other questions we have here. So we've answered the maximum distance. So one question was, can we run an auto test and save data? At present, that is not an option on the iTech 700. The best way to do that is with TechTite. TechTite will run you through a standard multi-point test and provide you with all of the data that you need and store it for a report. So that's really the best place to do that. If you want to do a multi-point test, really need to use the TechTite software, and that's ready to go right now. The question is Air Solutions. Yes, Air Solutions will be offering the same deal up in Canada. And how will a Windows-based TechTite program communicate with the iTech 700? That is in the configuration setup. One of the things that you want to be able to do is it does automatically look for gauges. Presently, or in the previous version of TechTite, it would scan all of the USB ports for a gauge. Now, when it scans for gauges, it's also looking at wireless connections. So as long as you have your wireless connection set up through your computer to the Wi-Fi link, and those instructions are included with every gauge, and you can, if you want to take a look at them, go to our website and you can download those instructions. We'll tell you how to do that. So that's ready to go and is available right now. Do I have a warm, fuzzy feeling as to the available date for an Android version? I don't, not yet. We do have someone working on this right now, and computer programming is always something that takes a little bit longer than you thought. We did start off with the iOS version because the atmosphere or the programming environment is a little bit easier than the Android version. So we wanted to make sure that we could get a good solid program working with the iOS, and that will be continuing on with the Android version. So those will be that. Hopefully, if you watch our our website and get our newsletter, then you'll be able to see that. So as soon as we have it, we will be able to notify you that that's happening. Let's see. So will TechTight on Windows laptop essentially function as if I was tethered to the USB cable? That's exactly true. So all you're doing is missing the USB cable. USB cable generally is 15 to 30 feet. So using TechTight wirelessly, you could easily be sitting at the kitchen table running the test and showing the homeowners how the test is progressing and what you're actually working on without being in front of the fan or obstructing the fan or worry about tripping over a cable that's going to drop your laptop computer. So that's going to be a useful feature for you. So with that, it's now about 10 after 3. We've run through the video a couple times to make sure that everyone's seen it. And we will be able to get that information to you. We just got another question. Do I need a Wi-Fi environment, or does the iTech 700 become a hotspot? The Wi-Fi, the TEC Wi-Fi link is your hotspot. That's going to be creating a Wi-Fi signal that's going to be picked up by the either the computer or the iPad or iPhone. It's creating its own Wi-Fi network, so the Wi-Fi link is actually the hotspot. So if there are any other questions with that, again, we'll be posting this information in this webinar on the website in the next few days so that you'll be able to go through that. And hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of our promotion and get a couple of Wi-Fi links and give it a test, see how it works. So with that, I would thank you, and hopefully that would be, that's the end of our presentation. You can still continue to ask questions. We'll answer them offline and get back to you with those. Thank you again, and appreciate your time.